Life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. Here we will share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, verses of victory, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul, to keep you on your path of purpose and navigate this thing called life with power and authority. This is Andrea L. Hines, and I'm your host for When Life Speaks, here on ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am glad you accepted the invitation to join us tonight. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it is going to be a blessing to your life, it will be to someone else as well. So share, tag, start a watch party, and invite someone you know to join us. Then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Well, good evening, and welcome to When Life Speaks. This is your host, Andrea L. Hines, and I am so happy to welcome you tonight. Now, this is really strange. Don't ask me why I have waited until the end of the season to turn my camera around and show my Christmas tree. I have no idea why I decided to do that, but I'm glad that I did. It still keeps me in the holiday spirit, and I'm happy to be in the holiday spirit. And I am glad to be with you tonight here at When Life Speaks. Hey, Francina, good to have you with us in the house tonight. I tell you, this is a special program. I had every intention of making this our prayer program because we didn't do one this year. And unfortunately, we were not able to pull it all together for tonight. So hopefully, we will have it together for the first Thursday broadcast in 2023. Boy, it sounds funny to talk about 2023. It seems like we just entered 2022. And here we are at the end of the year. This is our last broadcast for this year. And I wanted to take this opportunity to just say thank you. I tell you what, it has been like Frank Sinatra used to sing a song. Some of you don't even know who that is, but he used to sing a song about it was a very good year. And this absolutely positively was a very good year. It had some challenges, to say the least. A lot of things going on health-wise, resurgence of COVID, mass shootings again, just a lot going on. But through it all, God has remained faithful. He has been God to us. He has worked through us. And I am just very, very grateful tonight to be able to come on and to tell some of you just thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, Angie, good to see you pop in on the line tonight. We have had a number of really exciting shows. We have had great guests who have come on with us and had stories to share. I am so happy that people want to be able to share and tell their stories so that others can be uplifted and encouraged. That is such a great thing. And sometimes it's not an easy thing to do. It's difficult sometimes to kind of put yourself out there and be vulnerable in a lot of ways. But I am just very glad that we have had a village that would surround us and talk with us. We have had great guests that have come on, and continuing to keep and sustain us. Yes, yes, yes. God has been so good. I mean, He has been so good. When I look back over the programs that we have had, when I look at the stumbling blocks that we have overcome, and I'm going to go through some of those things tonight to just, jog your memory a little bit. But I can't even express how happy I am that we have been consistent, that we have been able to remain on the air, that we've had wonderful people with us. And 2023, I want you to put down on your calendar right now, already, mark the date. I'll probably do something official to have you mark the date, but June 10th, I'm going to be celebrating 5 years in broadcasting. I tell you, the 5 years have gone by so fast. I started with a program and moved into being a station owner. And I have so many wonderful people who listen, who support, who pray for us, who keep us lifted up, who have laughed with us, who have cried with us. And I just wanted to take this moment tonight before we totally close out 2022 and just thank some of the people who have been with us and who have shared in this journey. So, Alan, I think if you are ready, you can roll that slideshow at any time. And we just want to say thank you to our guests and to those who have participated. I tell you what, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. As I looked back over those flyers and everything, I just couldn't stop smiling because I tell you, we had some great, great people to come on and share with us. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them and what they brought to the table because we have covered a lot of topics, a lot of interesting topics. Hey there, Paula Obi. Good to have you in the house tonight. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. I want to first give a very, very special thanks to Lynn and to Angie O, and to Francina. They are my standard, if you will, co-hosts that come on with me, and we don't necessarily, it's not necessarily their story, but they're topics that we cover. Angie is always at the ready. I tell you, I appreciate her so much. Thank you so much, Angie. And Francina does kind of what we have affectionately called senior sidebar, because we try to talk about those things that are of particular interest to seniors. They're kind of, if I had known then what I know now moments, but also they're important because, you know, if you live long enough to get to be a senior, this is good information that you want to know. So I especially thank the three of them. We have segments that are to keep faith flowing. We talk about stories of strength and testimonies of triumph. We talked about the power of one, and that's a favorite one because we have the opportunity to talk to people who stepped out even in fear, but stepped out in faith because they had an idea and a dream, and they really wanted to see it come to pass. And they have gone from a particular thing into starting movements or starting organizations that have really done good things, great things. The only picture that I think I'm missing is one of Latoya Neal. And I talked about her organization right near the end of the year. She has an organization called Prosperity 122. And go to prosperity122.org and look her up and see the kinds of things that they are doing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the, well, I think I have it here. She is passionate about aiding women, particularly those younger, in their pursuits of personal and spiritual growth. And she does a drive every year, packing the purse. She gives these young ladies new bags, and in it there's sometimes makeup, there may be jewelry, there may be any number of things that help them in their life's journey and help them feel good about themselves. Self-care was really big this year, should be big every year, something that we need to do to take care of ourselves. April Richardson Boyd has an organization called the Renewed and Refined Woman, and she teaches women to communicate effectively, empower each other, and operate in excellence in every area of their lives. Now, April has a prayer group that goes on in the morning at 6 a.m., which is difficult, I tell you what, because she is now on the West Coast. So I know things have changed with the timing. But if you, any of these people that I talk about, if you want more information about them, if you want to go back and view their programs and you want to know, you know, what how to get in touch with them, or how to find out the date that they were on, so you can scroll through and hear their programs again, please just let me know. And you know, you can reach me at speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. That is speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. Yes. Now, Angie did a segment with us on, let me see, understanding unforgiveness, arresting the spirit of offense, two pretty tough topics. But most of all, Angie is the host of her own show. She is part of the family of ALH Broadcasting, and she has a show with her Whole and Beautiful Nation. It's called Whole and Beautiful, and it comes on Friday nights right here on ALH Broadcasting at 7 p.m. And you got to check her out. This lady has some great information, and she shares it freely and openly. She has good guests, but she can minister to you one-on-one. And I tell you what, she does a great job. When I say one-on-one, I know that she has, you know, a host of people in her Whole and Beautiful Nation. But when she comes on and she begins to minister, it's like she's talking right to you, and that topic is meant just for you. So check her out on Friday nights. Francina is a cancer survivor. She has a tremendous testimony of her journey and how she is now actively involved with legislators and with the American Cancer Society, and just doing great things to bring awareness to breast cancer and all types of cancers. And we thank her for sharing with us when she comes on. She also talked about delayed gratification, and she was part of our show that we did on bitterness. We did a show about connecting the dots and looking at those things in your life that could be blessing blockers that could keep you from receiving the blessings of the Lord, and how you manage those things and how you get through those situations. We had Teresa Carmi on. Now, Teresa is a licensed financial advisor, and she talked to us about what financial planning really, really looks like, how you can evaluate your today, what you want to do tomorrow, have realistic goals, strategic solutions for your financial well-being. She was a wonderful asset to us in terms of that financial information, which we need to have. And I thank her. I thank her for being on. And Erin Edgar talked to us about estate planning. She has her own law firm, the law office of Erin Edgar. And she had a story of strength and a testimony of triumph. Not only did she talk to us about estate planning and what that meant, she said specifically to enhance your self-confidence and decision-making strategies and leadership skills. I'm sorry, let me go back. How planning for the end of your life can be a richly fulfilling and inspiring process. That's what I meant to say. And that's what Erin brought to us. But her story of strength and testimony of triumph came about because Erin was born without sight. So when you think of somebody who was born without sight, who went through school, who got their law degree, who has their own law firm, and is busy helping other people to know and understand what estate planning is all about, don't say, I can't do it. Don't say I can't do it. We have had some amazing people on that have shown us that if you want to do it, with God's help, it can be done. So I thank Erin for being on our program. Now, that information I was talking about before really belongs to Jasmine Young. And Jasmine has an organization called the Rhoda Generation. She serves and advocates for youth. Specifically to enhance their self-confidence, decision-making strategies, and leadership skills. Rhoda, raising humble, obedient, daring adolescents. Raising humble, obedient, daring adolescents. And they just had their first royal ball for the Rhoda Generations, and it was a beautiful event. You want to keep your eye on this organization and the things that they are doing, because they are really doing some wonderful things. Ruth Griffin was on. Ruth is a publisher. She is an author. She did a show with us in the fall series of Connecting the Dots about anger, and she has written a book with her husband, and the title of it, that's what I was trying to remember, is When Love is Angry. And she really was very transparent about her marriage and about her battle with being bipolar. And I tell you, we learned a lot in that program. And I thank her for being willing to come and share her journey. We had Gina Harold on, and Regina is the CEO of Embrace Magazine, online magazine. And I've been able to have articles in that magazine. She is a wonderful young lady. She is doing great things. Look for Embrace Magazine, M apostrophe BRACE, and check her out with all the things that she has done. One of our favorite people, Antonio Santoro, was on, and he was on during our blessing blockers, and he was talking about trusting God's timing. He had an amazing story about his move from Raleigh to Atlanta. And I tell you what, God led him like you would not believe. And Antonio came on and told us all about it. And we're just grateful for that. Thank you, Antonio. Antonio is also part of our prayer group, and we're going to have him. He's going to be praying in the program that we're going to have when that airs. Cinnamon Ruth Leggett comes to us under the power of one. She also talked about obstacles and opportunities, and we had to have that in two parts. So I'm just grateful for her for making the time to be with us here on When Life Speaks and to talk about those two things. Lynn talked about fear. She talked about tenacity. We had a mother-daughter conversation. We had a transparent Thursday. And when we talked about parenting and things like that, I mean, I just, it's a joy whenever she's on. Lynn has a wealth of information all by herself, but I tell you what, she can always make us laugh. Laughter, if you need some laughter, when you see Lynn's name pop up, you got to stop in. You got to stop in, because there are going to be some tough conversations, but there's always something on the lighter side. And I thank her. I thank her for being willing to participate on When Life Speaks. Carrie Runyon was on recently. She gave a testimony of triumph in being a young woman and dealing with alopecia, and also a diagnosis called achalasia. And it is something that keeps the food from moving from her esophagus into her stomach. And she had emergency surgery. We prayed for her recently. She had to have emergency surgery. All of these things were happening when she was from middle school going in and through college. But there were questions that people had that she graciously answered. And I was able to give those answers on the next program that we had. I'm going to talk to you about Latoya Neal. Pastor Stephen Sims comes to us every now and again and gives stories, not stories, but information about leadership. And he talked to us about purpose and assignment. And I am just so, so grateful that he decided to do that. I want to, we had special shout outs to the women around Mother's Day, and also to the men in our lives around Father's Day. We've got some great parents. We have some great men and women who are leading by example and doing wonderful things that are helping other people. And I thank all of you. I thank you, our listeners, because I can't do this without you. There's no point to this without you. And there's a group of you that we now call the Village. They don't all participate at the same time, but they are able to participate when they can. And what happens is there'll be a particular topic or a particular question that will come up, and I will send it out to the Village, and whoever is able to respond will respond. And then we will read those responses on the air. Sometimes I am by myself. Sometimes I have one of my co-hosts that will help with that and add to that conversation. Special thank you to the Village, which included this year Ida Batts, Carmen Thompson, Marsha Marcellus, Kim Carpenter, Zerlina Abobi, Angie Oliphant, I call her Angie all the time, Bernice Clark, Pastor Gloria Kennedy, Charles Durant, Francina Booker, Paula Obi, Marie Kinsella, Antonio, I don't know whether I mentioned him before or not, Wendy Oglesby, Pastor Kelvin Little, and Linda Cooks. Thank each and every one of you. I don't think I left anybody out. If I did and they listened to the replay, please, please remind me that you are a part of the village. I don't want to miss anybody because I've got something special coming up for the villagers when it comes around June 10th. So I really want to make sure that I keep up with everybody. My plan is to release a book next year, and it is going to be some of the readings and inspirational victory verses that we do in the morning at 8 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Be on the lookout for that. Um, if there's somebody that you think we need to know, some of my guests I have been able to have on were introduced to me by someone who knew them and knew that they had a story of strength or a testimony of triumph that is worth sharing. And if that is the case, or if it is you, and you have not had an opportunity to be on and you are doing something from a non, what do I want to say, 501c3 organization, and you want nonprofit, that's the word I'm looking for, and you want to share that with us, you know what to do. Speak Life with Andrea at gmail.com. Speak Life with Andrea at gmail.com. Francina says, When Life Speaks is a program that has blessed many people and made a difference in their lives. Thank you for all that this program brings in encouragement, inspiration, and growth. Thank you so much, Francina. I thank you for being consistent and being faithful. And I know that life gets busy. But when I don't know whether I have ever shared this with this group here recently, but when I was asked about being a part of a radio broadcast and having my own show, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that I had a yes. And I sat down and thought, God, okay, we said yes. Where do we go from here? And he immediately said, and it was so clear, he said, when life speaks, you speak life. And that has been what we have tried to do with every broadcast and with every topic and with every situation that has been brought to you, is to help you understand that you can make a mistake and not be the mistake that you've made, that you can have things happen to you in your life, and it doesn't mean that life is over, that no matter what you have done, you can get up, dust yourself off, talk to God, hold on to his hand, and continue to have a fulfilling life, an inspiring life, and one that can make a difference to other people that you meet. It is to uplift the heart and to touch the soul and to be able to say some good stuff sometimes. We are bombarded with things in the news that would bring us down and pull us down and make us feel bad, but we've touched on everything. We've touched on grief. And I want to do a show coming up in the coming months, life after loss. I've been talking to some people and how they're dealing with their grieving journey. So we want to talk about that. If there is a topic that we haven't touched on, let me tell you some of the things that we have talked about. We talked about juggling and balancing in life. We have talked about how to make positive changes in your life. We've talked about bridging the gap in the generations. Our summer series of connecting the dots. We dealt with boundaries and borders that keep us healthy. We have dealt with mental health. We've dealt with delays and denials, delayed gratification. We have talked about offense and obstacles. We talked about anger, bitterness, unforgiveness, fear. We've talked about all of these things, and we've talked about it from a healthy place of saying, hey, you're going through it. You're dealing with it. You have experienced it. Let's figure out a way to come out on the other side. Let's figure out a way to grow stronger with every passing day. Something happened recently and it caused me, for those of you who don't know, I'm also a certified life coach, and it caused me to open up something for one of my clients, because what I heard God say was, you can't install the sprinkler system when the house is already on fire. Think about that. You can't install the sprinkler system when the house is already on fire. We talk all the time about what in you will come out of you. Yeah. So we have to make sure that we are strong in the Lord and the power of his might, that we are strong in the word, that we know how to encourage ourselves, that we know how to call on the master when we need to, that we know what to let go of and when to let go of it. We need that. We need that in our bank. We need that in that place of power that we have to tap into from time to time. And we have to have it at the ready. We can't wait until we're in the midst of crisis and then fall out and think, oh, what am I going to do now? No, 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 no. You need a word. You need to have that word in you. You need to know where to go and who to go to, and that is to plug into the source, and that source is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I thank him for every topic he gives us. He knows what we need to hear, and he knows when we need to hear it, how we need to hear it, and who we need to hear it through. So I am grateful. I am grateful for every one of you that has been on, that has participated, that has benefited from this program and from ALH Broadcasting. Let me see what Paula has to say here. Paula says, this touched my life and heart in so many, many ways. Such an awesome inspiration. Thank you for being obedient. Thank you, Paula, because Paula's been part of the village. And when she can, let me tell you, when she got some stuff to say, it is good stuff. It is good stuff. Hey, Victoria, good evening to you. Glad to have you in the house tonight. Yeah, it's been a very good year. I was listening to that old song, but Frank Sinatra talks about when I was 17 and when I was 35 and all of this stuff. Every day is another day that I get to do something great for God. Every day, every day. Every day he wakes me up, he has an assignment for me. I may not see it as that, but I'm his representative. And so are you. If you know him, if you have a relationship with him, he has something for you to do. And guess what? You get to do it every day you open your eyes. If you don't see anything specific, then just know that you can show somebody the light and love of Christ just by being kind, just by being compassionate, by having a good word to say, by not taking people for granted, for actually listening when they talk to you, to be able to say, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Take the time. Take the time. Call somebody you haven't called for a while. You still got a few hours left. We don't go into the new year until Sunday. You have tomorrow. You have Saturday. You have time to still make a difference in somebody's life with a little thing that doesn't cost you a dime. Doesn't cost you a dime to give somebody a compliment. Make a note that tomorrow you're going to do that. You're going to do something specific that shows somebody the light and love of Christ. That is what I wanted to say this evening. We have added one other thing to our list of categories that we have, and that's E2. An evening of encouragement. Someone had suggested that with the topics and all, that sometimes I just come on and read some of the victory verses that God has given me that will encourage us and that will keep us at a safe place, a good place, and one that will keep us strong. We're trying to be strong this year. We're not going to deal with things pulling us down and pulling us at a place where we can't function. We're going to lift one another up, and we're going to know how to lift ourselves up and keep ourselves in a good place and a good space. So I've been doing that as well. And I just wanted to, like I said, I just wanted to come on before the end of the year, This is my last program for this year, and I wanted to be sure to come on and just say thank you. Thank you so much for being who you are, for supporting the program. And I did want to mention the folks now who are coming in on the live show, and those are places that Toronto is coming in, Scotland has come in, Spain, Italy, Russia, uh, Ghana, Jamaica. Love Demonstration Fellowship has been joining us, and I thank all of them, all of them. Kenya, sometimes the countries come in and go, and maybe just one or two programs that they listen to, but those that I've mentioned are regular. They're regular listeners. And if any of them are on tonight, I want to be sure to say thank you to them as well. And hopefully, when June comes around, we will be hearing from them. And coming up, Freeport, Bahamas is going to be joining us too. So I thank God for that. Let me see if I can read something else. Linda said Marlo was on this year with life insurance. Actually, I think Marlo was on the end of last year, but that's okay because she gave us some good information too. And I plan to reach out to her to have her come back on to talk to us because that's always something of interest and information we need to know. Let's see. Francine is giving us her Happy New Year note. And Victoria says, thanks for consistency and having wonderful topics of inspiration and encouragement. You're going to be hearing some more from Miss Victoria Henderson. So I want you to be on the lookout for that. I'm not going to put her out there tonight, but I do want her to know we're coming for you, Victoria. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. That's all I have for this evening, guys. Look, it has been my pleasure to communicate with you on a weekly basis every Thursday. And there are other shows on ALH Broadcasting. We have 8 at 8 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to give you a time to give God praise and also have a victory verse to start your day. We have Angela Oliphant and Whole and Beautiful. And we also on Sunday nights have Authors Up with Victoria Henderson and Ruth Griffin and myself. And you know what? There is a place and a space for you. If you would like to be a guest, if you would like to join the ALH Broadcasting family, either as part of the village or to have your own show, you know what to do. Contact me at Speak Life with Andrea at gmail.com. That is Speak Life with Andrea at gmail.com. But come back next week. Prayerfully, we will have our prayer program ready to go, and you will be able to turn down the volume of life and relax and be ready to receive so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Good night, everybody. Thank you, and Happy New Year.